What's up guys, it's Dkbrown and today I'm bringing you another video. This one's going to be a review on the movie Death Wish, starring Bruce Willis and Vincent D'Onofrio, also directed by Eli Roth. Bruce Willis plays a doctor, a successful doctor with a family, a wife and a daughter who just got accepted into college, with Vincent being his brother. The movie starts out with Bruce Willis seeing patients such as criminals and their victims being brought into the hospital. Some lives he doesn't save, some lives he does, but he sees that there's a lot of crime activity going on based off of the people that are coming into the hospital. Where everything goes wrong is when a valet captures a picture of his navigational system to get his home address because he knows that the doctor has money. Fast forward in the movie, just a short few minutes later, 3 burglars break into the house with just the doctor's wife and daughter inside while he's at the hospital. The criminals are only there to get into the safe, which one criminal takes the mom up to the safe, has her open it, tells her that if everything goes to plan, they will not get hurt. Meanwhile, the daughter's downstairs with a gun pointed to her head. While all this is happening, one of the robbers goes and gets rope to tie the daughter up so that they could tie both of them up so that they could get away and have enough time to get away while they're tied up so they can immediately call the police. Well, one of the robbers is a little handsy. It gets to be a little bit uncomfortable for the girl because he's touching her and making vulgar compliments about her body while he's touching her, and she just gets saved because one of the robbers comes back who's trying to follow everything by the book, if criminals do have a book, and stops him, and the other guy wants a few more minutes because he's planning on raping the girl. Well, the mom finally opens up the safe, they come back downstairs, and what ends up happening, the girl gets a hold of a knife and slices one of the robbers in the face, the one that was being all handsy with her. Well, after that, the mom runs, grabs a pot of hot water that was on the stove, splashes the same guy in the face. Well, the leader of the group decided that he was then going to just shoot both of them and run off because the one guy had to pull his mask off so his face was seen. Both the mom and daughter were rushed to the hospital. The mom didn't make it, but they both were rushed to the same hospital that the doctor worked at. So her husband slash the dad worked at this hospital as a surgeon. Both of them were rushed into the hospital, and the mom didn't make it, but the daughter did survive. She just ended up being in a coma. But after some time goes by, the doctor realizes that nothing's being done. These criminals aren't found. He just wants justice for his daughter and his wife. But the Chicago Police Department isn't getting any leads, so he decides to take things into his own hands, goes and gets a gun, learns how to shoot it, and becomes a vigilante. What it kind of reminded me of is he was like the Punisher, fighting crime and just killing the criminals, but he wasn't a fighter. He was very good with a gun because he did a lot of practicing. He picked that up pretty quickly. He was good at wielding a gun. He went out and killed somebody that was robbing a couple late at night. Actually it was 2 people that he killed that were being robbed late at night, and there was a lady inside the window that was recording it, and they were calling him a guardian angel, the people that he saved. And then this is how it began in the news of him being called the Grim Reaper. So he gets this name, the Grim Reaper, but no one knows who he is. All they're seeing is a white man with a hooded sweatshirt. He then goes and kills a couple other people that were involved in other criminal activities, such as a drug dealer that shot a little boy in the leg. He walked up to him in broad daylight, something like what happened in American Gangster with Denzel Washington. Walked up to that guy and shot him in the cafe. Same thing happened, except for he went up to this guy who was selling ice cream as a front. This is what he was using to sell drugs out of, and he was having little kids deliver the drugs. Walked up to him and said, "Hey, you the ice cream man?" He's like, "Yeah." Pah, 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 pah. Shot him right there in front of all of his friends. Meanwhile, he's doing all these good deeds by killing these criminals and helping out the community, so no eyewitnesses are coming and confessing that they seen who it was, until he gets a lead on the people that killed his wife and injured his daughter when they were robbing them, because the valet ended up getting shot and was in his hospital, and the way he noticed it was the valet was wearing a watch that was stolen. It was his favorite watch, stolen out of the safe. So this leads him to the next person, the other person that was a part of the robbery, and it all was masterminded by one person that they weren't wanting to give up, and they finally did, because he ends up killing all the rest of the robbers that broke into his house and anyone associated with him. Went through, killed them all, got his leads, and eventually had a shootout inside the club with the main leader, the guy who was more like a ghost. Had a shootout with him. That guy survives, tells on him. This whole time the police have been suspecting that the doctor was the Grim Reaper, but they had nothing to pin him to it. Well, his daughter finally comes out of a coma, and he gets to take her home, but all the while he goes and buys a gun, because the other gun, original gun that he had, was off of a criminal, so it had nothing to tie him to it. So he goes and legally buys a bunch of guns, takes them home. That guy shows up to get revenge for him killing his partners and trying to kill him, but this whole time Bruce Willis was ready, prepared for it. He shows up, he's shooting everybody, like the frickin', like Ben Affleck, an accountant, shooting everybody up. There was 3 people that broke into again, but they came in with AR-15s. He kills them all, has a shootout with the guy. The main boss guy kills him while his daughter is hiding underneath the stairs calling the police. The police show up, and they're like, oh, so you go and buy a gun today? Or when did you go and buy a gun? He's like, oh, I went and bought them when my wife came home just in case. And this whole time, the detective knows that he's the one that was a Grim Reaper, because he was like, oh, so did you own any other guns before? And he's like, yeah, I owned a Glock once before, but I got rid of it. He's like, is it gone for good? Pretty much implying, are you done being the Grim Reaper? The doctor, aka Bruce Willis, is like, yeah, I'm done. And that's where it ends. Has a very cheesy ending to it, because he finally takes his daughter off to college. He's hung up his hat of vigilantism, and there's this kid robbing somebody, and he does this. He goes, but, and then that's where the movie ends. Kind of a cheesy ending. It's like him trying to imply he's not done being this vigilante Grim Reaper guy. But other than that, this is a very surprising movie. I was not expecting that. This was something that I sat down, something that I was just going to watch just to watch, because it seemed interesting, but a little cheesy at the same time, because it's one of those movies that seems like it's a low budget, but it wasn't. Really good movie. I do highly recommend it. I would give this movie a C+. Reason being, low budget, not a lot of actual hand-to-hand combat. This movie's budget was $30 million, made $48 in box office. So the money was there, but most of that most likely was paying some of these stars, because Bruce Willis is a top actor as far as action movies. So probably half of that went to him, to be honest. But there wasn't a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Most of the gunfights were awesome. There's only a couple of them though, not enough action for me. Maybe it's because I've seen movies like The Accountant or John Wick and movies like Deadpool and all that, where the vigilante goes out on a killing spree, or even the newest Punisher series, where he goes out and he kills all the bad guys. That's what I like to see. So the movie fell short in that, but C+, I still would give it a good C+, solid C+. It is a movie that is worth seeing. Very shocking that the movie was as good as it was, because the description doesn't give it all away. This is something you'll sit down and you watch, and then you start getting into it, and you're sitting on the edge of your seat like, dang, is this really about to happen? So if you have free time, go and watch this movie, and while you're doing that, go ahead and hit that like button so I know you like this review and want me to keep doing them. And click the subscribe button so I can see you next time. I post videos every Monday at noon, so be on the lookout for that. But thank you for watching. Bye.